I know your name. Kray. And I think to myself, George, I think, these boys are special. These boys are a new kind. You've got it. You've got it. And I can see it. And you've got to learn how to use it. Now there's people out there, lots of people, who don't like to be hurt. Not them, or their property. Now these people, who don't like to be hurt, pay people not to hurt them. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? Of course you do. Now when you boys get out of here, you keep your eyes wide open. Watch out for the people who don't want to be hurt. 'Cause you scare the shit out of me, boys. Wonderful.
The local villains was just one of the financial pillars on which the Krays empire was built. Another was protection.
I was taken out with Ronnie and Big Tommy Brown. We took the taxi and we toured the West End, all the different clubs where they were getting paid off. And I was introduced to where they used to pay the money. And they were told that I would be collecting from now on. And that was it. That became my Friday job. We used to call it the milk round. You know, just run around the West End, collect all their dough, and then all around the East End, look for stealers and that. I mean, there was clubs I used to go, like Benny the cab drivers in Commercial Road, £10 a week, a tenner, just to let him carry on running his spieler. 25 quid a week, the Green Dragon. Some of the West End clubs, 40s and 50s.
Before he was recruited to the Krays firm and became their chief collector, Donahue was forced to undergo a bizarre initiation ceremony.
They decided that he would fit nicely into their organisation, but in order to test him, first of all, he was shot in the foot. And the test then was, of course, would he go to the police, or would there be an act of retaliation against the Krays or some of their gang? But instead of this, the man went home and nursed himself, and eventually then was recruited into their firm and became one of their able lieutenants, and a very trusted one.
But I said to Reggie once, if this happened, Donahue will never forget it. He'll be an enemy. He'll work for you, but he'll always be an enemy. He said, no, I don't think so. He's all right, Donahue. But he knows that if I'm in things.
The Kray twins never expected betrayal. After all, they bought the loyalty of local villains by supporting the Aways, fellow criminals locked up in jail.
Every now and again, probably once a fortnight, we had a number of pubs we would use. As the place filled up, it looked promising. If there was a few obviously rich guys there, they would say, do the Aways list. So now you would go around with a piece of paper and say, collecting for the Aways. And get whatever you got. And then they'd say, well, who's away? Well, Harry's doing 2. His missus has got 2 kids. Right, send them round 25 quid. Like that. Again, this reflected on the twins, because when you went round, you would say, the boys sent you around this, help out with the electric or the gas or whatever. Aren't they lovely boys? You still hear that today, lovely boys. Yeah. They just nipped it off other people. But they got the reflected glory. Yeah.
Behind the mask of public relations, the firm's real strength lay in professional violence.
But normally, somebody's got to insult you or whack you or something for you to react with violence, normally. But you can get to a stage where you do it purely as a way of life. professional violence. Laid a man down, break his leg. You've never met him before. You're not angry with him. He hasn't done you any bad turn. You know, he's just stopping the business. But and enjoy it. And say, hold that, you know, and walk away.
Ronnie once punished a man who had simply upset a friend of the Krays.
And so they dragged this poor little guy out of bed at 2 in the morning, took him down to a club that they then owned called Esmeralda's Barn, tied him to a chair, and Ronnie had then heated a sharpening steel in the gas burner of the cooker, and then put it across this man's forehead and across his face, and burned him very badly.
Ronnie once told me that they had a cousin who was, say, 2 or 3 years older than them, and when they were kids, and they used to play in the bomb sites all over the place, he would make little dens, what he called dens, little camps. And this older cousin would be torture these two boys, the twins. And whether that had any effect on them, well, I suppose it must have done. But they never actually told the parents about it. But obviously it's something that stuck with Ronnie for him to tell me about it. Ronnie, fancy Ronnie. It would have been a bad thing if he ever had happened, you know, I think so. I mean, old Clef, I don't particularly like his singing and all that, but he don't seem a bad guy. I wouldn't hate to see him involved with that sort of person. Yeah.
By the early 1960s, the Kray twins' charisma and willingness to use the most extreme violence had brought the whole of London's East End within their grasp. Now the undisputed bosses of their own manor, they called a gangland summit.
There was a sort of, I'm not talking about a boardroom meeting, but there was a meeting between Freddie Foreman's firm, South London, the Nashes, North London, Twins East, and Richardson's, also South London. And we get together and cut London up. And all that don't interfere with each other's business. But Richardson's were getting too much money. They said, we don't need you. Just one bit of business, they were getting £1,000 a week out of the London Airport car park. That was just one bit. This made Ronnie jealous because he couldn't match that. So all he wanted to do was take it over, smash it. So the war was declared, and we were given a name each of their firm. We were told where they lived, what pubs and clubs they used, what place of business they used, and we were given access to a gun. As soon as Ronnie went into one of his depressions, got something upset him, he would say, that's it, go. And we would have all, well, now it's make or break.
It's just an indication of how power crazy they were, that they would take such steps as these to exterminate members of an opposing gang. And you can imagine the kind of holocaust it would have generated, because this would have been gang warfare on a scale that we'd never known before.
Spoiling for a gangland showdown, Ronnie was to be disappointed. Before he could send the troops to war, a bloody skirmish broke out over territorial protection rights at a Catford gambling club. Eddie Richardson and his supporters were shot and wounded. Kray associate Dickie Hart was killed. The police moved in and netted almost the entire South London gang, with the exception of Richardson hardman George Cornell.
The next thing we heard was sitting in the pub in Bethnal Green. Somebody, one of the spies, came in and said, Cornell is sitting round the beggars, drinking. Now, Cornell was running from the old bill, so he's away from South London, drinking in the East End. When Ronnie got the information that Cornell was actually sitting practically round the corner in the Blind Beggar, he took Scotch Ian, who's his backup there, and Scotch Jack as a driver. Ronnie and Ian went in. They had a shooter each. Ian let one go in the ceiling just to get people's heads down. And then Ronnie just stunned Cornell in the head.
Try as they might, the police were unable to find a single witness who would say what had happened in that bar.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please join our Facebook group. It's called Krays Crime Lords of London. We're a friendly, moderated group with over 1,000 Kray and other celebrated gangster videos available for view. There's also thousands of images in the photos sections. The link for the group is in the YouTube description section. I hope we see you there soon.